This is the Seven Figure Standard Podcast, hosted by Arash Vasugi and Mikey Stiller, with mindset and strategies to help you break through and create personal freedom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Seven Figure Standard Podcast. I'm Mikey Stiller, joined by my co-host, Arash Vasugi, and we're so thrilled to be back with you for another episode. It's the beginning of December, and most of us are already thinking about how we can finish the year strong and start the year strong and have the best year ever in 2024. And if you're not already thinking about this, you should be. So, Arash, how can we really set ourselves up to win in this new year?
For me, I start creating my new year December 1st. So a lot of people wait till January 1st and start thinking about resolutions. And that's on a whole nother topic. But you want to start planning your year out now. And there's a couple reasons. Number one, you're going to have so much momentum by knowing what you want for 2024 and really putting it together the first week of December. And really spending that time, because you're not just planning the new year, you're going to create so much momentum, really locking in to the last month of the year. So you finish out the last month very strong. And so it's really defining the type of life you want to create going forward. And it's very important that we start planning it literally right now, December 1st, start. That's my target date always.
Raj, I think that some common mistakes that we see people doing this time of year are either one, being really hard on themselves for not reaching the goals that they set for the year and thinking I failed when they still have a month left, or two, thinking it's the holidays, I'm tired, I want to kick back and relax, and I'll start fresh on January 1st. Why are those two things traps that we don't want anyone to fall into?
Well, number one, the goals we set, we may have picked the wrong date. We may have slipped. We've got to give ourselves grace. A lot of times we're just picking the wrong date. We haven't grown into that person yet. We haven't created the disciplines and installed the right processes that were going to set us up to achieve the goals. So we want to look at, instead of, oh God, I didn't do it, let me take my foot off the gas, we've got to look at really observing what could I have done better? Where did I slip? Did I start and stop? Because it's really going to show you, by asking yourself the right questions, it's going to show you what you get to implement going into the new year. See, everything is happening for us, not to us. And we're either going to get better or we're going to get bitter. And I encourage us getting better. And really look at every problem you have right away. Ask yourself, what is the solution? Become very solution oriented and look at the opportunity, because it's allowing us to really define one of the key parts of planning the new year is really defining what type of paradigm do you want to create for yourself in the new year. And it's really looking back at what you've done, like looking back at where did I take a misstep? Where did I drop off? Where did I not hold to my standard? Where did I really just take my foot off the gas? And I think it's telling us a huge story if we're willing to listen to it.
I love that. Where is the balance between enjoying the holiday season and not losing momentum?
Well, you still enjoy the holiday season no matter what. It's about being present each day. This is where we've got to really take advantage of each day and make today our masterpiece. I really believe this to the core of my being, that what we do every day defines who we are. So I watch people the day before Thanksgiving in the US, maybe day before, they coast until the new year. Then the first month, they're very unproductive in the new year because they've created a habit of coasting. So when we take advantage of each day, and our job is to be productive, in my opinion. If we're not productive, we're losing out on so many opportunities of what we're implanting as part of our self-image and self-esteem. So I don't think it has anything to do with not enjoying the holidays. When the holidays come, enjoy it. On your weekends, enjoy it. But when you're working, work with a purpose, work with an intent. I'll tell you what I do, Mike. With all my one-on-one clients, and my elite group coaching clients, the month of December, I get them to lock in on a short-term goal for December. And I want them to be so purposeful because it's going to get them laser focused, and they're going to have so much momentum going into the new year. So once the new year hits, they're not, okay, now it's the new year. Let me get away from the holidays. Let me take a week. It's crazy to me. And see, we've got to set ourselves up to win. So we want to be very purposeful in December, not just planning the new year, but finishing 2023 strong by picking a short-term goal and picking your non-negotiables. These are my 3 disciplines I'm doing every day better. I'm getting better every day. And I'm doing it with an expectant attitude. I'm doing it 1% better. I'm doing it with more swagger. I am not coasting. See, if you coast, it's going to be a part of your program. So you got to be very careful there.
You know, over the years, I know you've seen this. I've seen so many people wait until New Year's Day to start thinking about what they want to change about the new year, what goals they want to achieve in the new year, start planning for the new year. And I can't even fathom starting on New Year's Day. I feel like whenever you start on December 1st, you have such a head start into the year. You've had 30 days to let your subconscious mind plan and think and come up with solutions and creative ideas to really get you to your goals. But whenever you say you start December 1st, what process are you following for planning out your next year?
Well, there's a few things I start out with. Number one, I'll write out an absolute new vision for 2024. I write it in the present tense, and I keep a Post-it note for all areas of my life. It's not just one area. It's not just business. It's family. It's health. It's my spirituality. It's donating, philanthropy, and the type of experiences that I want to experience. And then I go to each one and I write it out like a story, like I've already achieved it. What would that be? And I go in great detail. It's usually a couple pages, anywhere from 2 to 3 pages. And then the next thing I do is I record that. And I record it and I listen to it 10 minutes a day. I'm already listening to it because I want it to be a part of my program. And then the next step I do is I take an inventory and I'll write out what were the quantum leaps that I created in 2023. What were my biggest wins that I created in 2023? I want to write them out because at one point I had never done it before. Well, if I'd never done it, then I know because I'm training myself to think bigger. I'm training myself. Well, at one point, I never knew how to do this, but I did it. And I'm really valuing my wins for 2023. I'm writing down the biggest wins that come to my mind because as human beings, we can be very self-sabotaging to ourselves where we focus and maximize the losses, what we didn't do, and we minimize the wins. We want to maximize the wins because whatever we focus on expands and whatever we seek is seeking us. So if I'm focusing on my losses, that's going to be seeking me to create more losses. So I come from a point of gratitude of what I did do. And then I will write out, what is the new program that I want to be a part of me? I want to define my new program that's much greater than what I've ever done. And I will write characteristics of who I want to become. And then I start becoming those. I'm really start becoming that starting December 1st or whenever I finish this process. It may take a couple days. Sometimes I do it in a couple hours. Sometimes it's not clear, so it'll take me a couple days. But I'm always thinking, how would that person behave? So I'm going to my future self as I already achieved this, starting the beginning of December. And then I start asking myself, making every decision from that future person. And that's how I make it my new paradigm. And then I get back, once it's done. And I focus on each day and finish out the year strong. And that's exactly what I do. But you want to remember this, and this is very important we understand. When we're aspiring for something far greater than we've ever achieved, which I encourage everybody to do, because it takes no more effort to aim high in life than it does to go after things that we know we can do, is when we're aspiring for something greater, your program is going to try to get you to slide back, try to get you to be comfortable. So you've got to really want it. So we start building our want right away. And we want to be aware of when am I sliding back? We want to catch it. We want to catch it by listening to ourselves and observing ourselves. One thing that's very important to elite performance is we've got to honor ourselves. How do we honor ourselves? The first thing we have to do is we have to get to know ourselves. So we want to know when we're sliding back. And we want to know when we're sending double binding messages. And if you start getting to know you and watch your behaviors, then you're going to really be aware of right when the paradigm is going to try to get you to slide back. And there's 3 key points you want to remember. Number 1, create great awareness through study and action. That's going to change the type of choices you make. See, if you have the awareness is everything. Like right now, we're operating based on our awareness. Like when I'm speaking based on my awareness. Well, my awareness is going to create the right choices. If I built my awareness to the level that I want to build it through my daily processes. Well, once I make great choices, they're going to create absolutely amazing results.
Raj, do you recommend a check-in or an evaluation and maybe a refinement of goals and standard and philosophy, no matter where you're at? And what I mean by that is, let's say there's going to be several scenarios people may be facing. They may be in the camp of, I am way off track. I came nowhere near my goal this year. And so should they keep their goal the same, or should they be reevaluating and refining in this time? Or they may be like, I'm like this close to my goal. I'm so close I could touch it. Do I still refine and maybe change the goal at this time? Do you get where I'm going with this question?
Yeah. So if somebody's way off from their goal, I wouldn't change the goal if they really want it. I would reevaluate, is this what I really want? And I would reevaluate, have I really committed to it, or is it a wish or a hope? Am I all in? Have I really committed on an emotional level? This is where I'm going no matter what. So they can have the same goal, but reevaluate their commitment levels and rededicate themselves and say, listen, I wasn't committed. I mean, I know there's some goals over the years that I didn't achieve because I wasn't committed. Then I would recommit to it and really get emotionally involved in that commitment. And then I achieve the goal several months later. And the person who is this close to it, you want to really put your foot on the gas, because in my opinion, you can hit it if you're a couple inches away, a couple days away from it. You don't know how long it's going to take. But the stronger the signal, the more attractive the force is that it's going to bring to us much quicker. So in terms of philosophy and standards, if you built a great set of philosophies and standards, you're going to naturally now understand the importance of it. So you're going to continue to elevate them. Every year, I'm elevating my philosophy. It's not something I try to do. It's something I just do because I'm constantly focused on beating my personal best and getting better. Well, as you do that, your awareness grows. And as your awareness grows, guess what's going to naturally grow? The philosophies. You're going to elevate your standards. You're going to behave like the person you want to become. Now, that last part is the most important part, is behaving like that person. That means taking action out of your comfort zone. That's how you behave like that person. You've never behaved like that person, but you start doing it. The hardest part is getting started. Once you get started, I really feel like the universe conspires on our whole behalf and says, okay, this dude is really serious. Like, this woman is really serious. And the whole universe is literally not just rooting us on, going and bringing all the people that are necessary to the fulfillment of our goal, bringing the circumstances in our favor, eliminating things that we used to sabotage ourselves with. And that's really the process that happens.
Okay, so this podcast episode is going to be published on December 5th. So right at the beginning of December. And this is something that you do at the beginning of December. Is this something that takes you one day, or do you revisit it for a couple of days? Is this something that someone should aim to start today and have finished by the 10th? Or what is the process, or how long does this usually take you?
See, for me, I've already been thinking about this. Like I was in Cabo. I always go there for Thanksgiving. My family and I take a week vacation, and I was thinking about it on the plane. I was already thinking, like, for me, it's different because I'm always thinking about what I want to become, what my next goal is. So if somebody has not been thinking about it, don't force it. It could take a few days. It could take up to a week, but commit every day a set time that you're going to put some real classical music on, get in a real quiet place, and set out 60, 90-minute sprint of planning your year. And if it's not what you want, then you do it the next day. It should never take more than 3 to 7 days at very maximum. And so for me, it normally takes me a day. It takes me one committed day to do it, but you've got to understand, I'm always thinking about more. I'm always thinking about aspiring for something greater. Like, I'm grateful for what I've created this year, but I'm not satisfied. So I'm thinking, where do I want to get better? And I really spend a lot of time looking at how I'm behaving. I spend a lot of time saying, okay, that behavior is outdated. I have to grow into a new behavior. And I spend a lot of time thinking from my future self. What would my future self be proud of over the next 12 months that I became? And that's how I'm always thinking. So I'm making my future self almost like it's my current self right now. I make every decision from that future self.
I love that. One of the things that I think trips a lot of people up, especially with New Year's resolutions or goals, is that they set them and they commit to them. And I'm putting air quotes if you're not watching this on YouTube, but then they never come back to it. Like, it was like a momentary commitment or a momentary decision or resolution, and then they forget about it. Life goes on. And so what are your tools or processes of making sure that this is in front of you every single day until it becomes a part of you, and so that you really make sure this is the new person you become?
Well, you've got to want something greater, first of all. You'll never forget to come to it if you really genuinely want something greater. Like, I genuinely want something greater. I believe, I don't know how long I have on this planet, but I want to take advantage of my years. I want to take advantage of my experiences. I want to take advantage of the day. So I never have to have anyone remind me to go do it. So it really depends on your level of commitment. Like, if you look at elite performers, there's a couple key qualities. Number one is they're very self-reliant people. They don't need somebody to say, hey, did you do this? They are very consistent. The man or woman that's most consistent wins. You want to brain tattoo that. And they're very dependable. You can count on them. They can count on themselves. See, we have to develop a significant self-image if we're going to create a very worthwhile, worthy life for ourselves. And that's something that's internal. And the elite performer are always digging deep and doing that deep internal work. So you can't give it to somebody. Somebody really wants to have it. I can't just give it. Like, the things that I wish I could give, I wish I could give you belief. I can't give you belief. You have to create it. I can't give you open-mindedness. You have to do it. So many people are setting their new goals based on what they've already achieved instead of based on what they really want. I was doing corporate training last week, and I told everybody, I said, it's up to you. Like, you can go create something 10 times greater than what you have right now, but it's up to you. It's up to, if you're going to pay the price. That price is discipline. That price is commitment. That price is getting out of your comfort zone. See, here's the thing. If we're going to create something in 2024 far greater, people are not going to love this, but I'm going to tell it to them. You're going to have to let go of 80% of the way you've been doing things. And not everybody wants to do that, which is fine. They like their comfort zone, but I think it's dangerous being in our comfort zone. And so, but you've got to ask yourself, am I willing to let go of 80% of the way I've been doing things? Well, that's the price. So that's up to you. You're not going to create a significant jump in 2024 unless you're willing to let that go.
So good. Raj, I feel, if you haven't been listening to our podcast for very long, we end every single episode with an action step. For this episode, I feel like the entire episode was an action step, and it gave you a lot to do to plan out your 2024. So we're not going to end with an action step, but Raj, I will give you the final word.
Yeah, I would really encourage you to think much bigger for yourself, starting right now. Because if one person can do it, anybody can do it. And it's up to you. It's up to you to decide. You are a creator. We're all creators. We're the creator. It's not happening to us. It's happening from us. So what do you want to create in 2024? How do you want to finish 2023? And remember this word, and I hope it becomes your word of 2024, which is purposeful. Be very purposeful for everything you do.
I love that. Perfect way to end today's episode. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review. Share it with your friends and family, and we'll be back with you next week for another episode. Raj, thanks so much.
Thanks, Mikey.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 7-Figure Standard. We hope you found the insights and strategies helpful on your journey to success. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform to help us reach more people like you. To learn more about Arash and Mikey and how Voss Coach & Co. can help you achieve your goals and reach new levels of success, visit vosscoachandco.com. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of 7-Figure Standard.